Happy New Year! This year is gonna be better than all the other years. It's gonna be such a good year, a great year. On this New Year, Zohran Mamdani has officially been sworn in as the mayor of New York City. That's right. I am gonna be going 1,000 times harder this year than last year. I've decided if I have a platform and the ability to speak, I might as well say all the things I want to say. So we're going to be going a lot harder. It's going to be pretty great. So anywho, Zohran Mamdani sworn in as mayor of New York City. We finally have a Muslim, radical, communist, pro-immigration, anti-ICE, anti-white, anti-Jew, anti-American mayor in New York City. Fantastic news. 9/11 happened a couple of years ago, and they forgot. So, as you can see, this is Gotham City, what it actually looks like, and everyone is about to find out. Now, this video is going to be incredibly controversial, because all the things I'm going to be talking about are things that the news isn't. All right, this is going to be a Nuxanor exclusive. So, first things first, Zohran Mamdani will become the first New York City mayor sworn in on the Quran when he takes oath of office on January 1st. So this just happened, or it's going to be happening today, depending on when this video comes out. Zohran Mamdani, first New York City mayor sworn in on the Quran. Now, let me first make this clear. This is not an oath. It's not a valid oath by the law of the United States. There's no way this should be constitutionally upheld. In fact, I would go as far as to say that it's heretical and it's insane that we're letting this happen. Absolutely diabolical. Now, let me make this clear. Why do we put our hands on a book? All right, why do we put our hands on a book like the Bible when we make a oath? Why do we do it? Because by the holiness in the book that I'm putting my hand on, and by the contents of this book, I will swear to the Lord that I will uphold the oath that I am making. That's what this was all about. All right, now let me make this clear. This book specifically talks about how you should be murdering non-Muslims. All right, let me make this clear. This book says that you are allowed to lie to non-Muslims. So let's get this straight. He's putting his hand on a book that tells you you could lie to non-Muslims, and he takes an oath potentially lying to non-Muslims. I'm just trying to put this on the same. I'm just trying to figure this out. I'm not trying to be controversial or anything. But this is wild. All right, and again, I'm just saying. Not trying to be controversial or anything, but this is truly incredible stuff. It really is. It's truly incredible stuff that they're letting this happen altogether. But even more than that, someone messaged me. All right, I'm not gonna say who. Someone messaged me. It's like, why is it called the religion of peace? Literally today, and I told him, well, in Islam, peace is defined as people following Sharia law. So if you aren't following Sharia, it's not peace. So then if they kill you, it's peace. And that is actually true. A quote from the Quran is, those who do not follow God's law, Allah's law, are not peaceful, and therefore killing them restores peace. That's where we're kind of at these days. Again, inshallah, as they say in England, everything will go smoothly, and we will not actually have any mistakes. All right, everything will go well. All right, everything will go really nicely and smoothly. Now, I just thought this was a little bit weird because, again, I don't think it's about putting your hand on a book. Just like if you put your hand on some feminist textbook, I don't think it should count per se. But the reality is, it really is. It's a substitution. It's more symbolic than anything else, which is pretty wild because there's no reason why, according to Islam, which, by the way, validates the scripture of both the Judaism and Christianity. It says in the Quran that the scripture of Judaism and Christianity, the Torah and the Gospels, are both the word of God. So there's no reason why you couldn't swear on the Bible if you're a religious Muslim. There's no reason not to, unless it's literally to make a point, which it is. So anywho, breaking news from New York City. A lot of you are going to find this very hilarious. Half of the New York Police Department quit. They are walking down streets, finding boxes of police uniforms just thrown out on the side of the road. Yeah, this isn't gonna go poorly at all. This is gonna go well, guys. I'm just saying. This is gonna go really well. Really, really well. So anyway, I wanted to talk about something pretty exciting. We're going to be talking about, for the rest of this video, a lot of propaganda. We're going to be doing a lot of propaganda. All right, I'm just letting you know in advance. It's all propaganda. It's all Islamophobia. Disclaimer. First video of the year is going to be Islamophobic as fuck. because we are going to talk about all the Islamic violence that happened throughout the Western world, literally on New Year's Eve alone. Not over the last year, not over the last 6 months. We're not doing recap of 2025. No, literally over purely and only New Year's Eve. First, we got to talk about, thank God, the Thwarted plots, because, I mean, that's really important. Islamophobia isn't real, Nux. I know, this is the disclaimer for the YouTube overlords that are gonna take down my channel when they see this. By the way, you can support me on Patreon if you want, because all my Islamophobic content ends up getting me in big trouble with the YouTube overlords. It's very nice. Someone in my chat just said, Nux is doing Jewish propaganda. Yes, the Jewish propaganda of Islamists lighting a church on fire. Yup, can't believe I'm doing Jew propaganda by talking about how Muslims lit a church on fire on New Year's Eve. Epic foreshadowing for later. But anywho, this is, thank God, a thwarted terror plot that took place in LA.
The FBI now reports that it's disrupted a planned New Year's Eve terror attack in Los Angeles. 4 suspects in custody, the FBI identifying them as members of a pro-Palestine extremist group. They're suspected...
Whoa! More Jew propaganda. It's the Palestinian extremist groups that are trying to do terror attacks. I'm sorry, chat, for all the Jew propaganda.
They're planning coordinated IED attacks
targeting
5 different locations.
I can't believe the Jews would trick the Muslims into trying to bomb people on New Year's Eve. This is diabolical.
In Los Angeles, but based on the reporting now, that plot has been foiled. We will wait for more out of it.
Right, so thank God that plot was foiled. Once again, foiled. The Jews couldn't pull off that one, I guess. No, dude, I literally have a guy crashing out in chat about how this is Jew propaganda, that Muslims are killing people or something. Anywho, so thank God that stopped. The pro-Palestine extremist group was thwarted by the dastardly Jews. Once again, and it's pretty diabolical. So anywho, that was not the only New Year's Eve Islamist terrorist plot. I know, you're probably crazed out. This is insane. Actually, there was a second one in Texas. There was a second radical Islamist terror plot foiled in Texas that was supposed to happen last night.
Well, federal agents have arrested a Texas man for allegedly trying to help ISIS. The newly uncovered plot comes as DHS issues a warning urging people to remain vigilant during their New Year's Eve celebrations. Fox News team coverage now. David Spunt has more on the Trump administration's plan to step up security. But we begin with Brooke Taylor, live in Dallas on this Texas terror arrest. Brooke?
Hi, Jackie. Well, federal charges have been filed with this ISIS sympathizer here in Texas. So he's charged with trying to give bomb.
This is just another example of Jews trying to get you to hate Muslims or something.
Making materials to an undercover FBI agent who was posing as an ISIS member. This investigation started back in October when an undercover NYPD officer flagged a social media account belonging to John Michael Garza Jr. The account followed several ISIS pages and commented on ISIS posts. The undercover officer started talking with Garza, who described himself as a 21-year-old Mexican-American living in Texas. Over the course of 2 months, Garza sent ISIS media releases to the undercover agent, including videos of suicide bombings and instructional bomb-making videos.
That's
Prosecutors say he also sent small amounts of cryptocurrency to the agent, believing those funds would be used to buy guns and support ISIS. Last Monday, Garza agreed to meet a second person that he believed was an ISIS brother, but was really that FBI undercover agent. He allegedly...
So this guy was a absolute dumbass, thank God. You know, I have to say, a moment of silence. Shout out to God for making our enemies retarded. Yeah, sure, they're violent, but they're also retarded. And I have to thank God for that one specifically.
Handed over bomb materials to the agent and
like, you realize God could have made these guys really smart. You know what I'm saying? God could have made them smart. But God was like, you know what? I'm going to nerf them. I'm going to make them vicious, but I'm going to also nerf them and make their IQs an average of 68. All right, I just got to say, like, absolute legendary God moment.
Explained how to mix the chemicals. He was arrested shortly after that meeting and now faces a maximum of 20 years behind bars if he's convicted. Attorney General Pam Bondi sharing this statement, quote, ISIS's poisonous ideology must be ripped out root and stem. Anyone who tries to commit violence on ISIS's behalf will be found, arrested, and prosecuted. You cannot hide from us.
Literally,
and
obviously.
FBI Director Kash Patel also said, let this case serve as a reminder to anyone planning to attack the United States on behalf of a terrorist organization. You will be brought to justice, he said. Jackie.
Yeah, so anywho, that's the news. There was a second terror plot planned for New Year's Eve in Texas this time. Thank God it was stopped. It was ISIS style. Thank God it was stopped. Huge W. Love to see it. All right. Anywho, I'm going to get all the good news of the stop terror plots out of the way, and I'm going to show you all the successful terror plots at the tail end of the video. Now, first, this is sort of a thwarted plot, but by sort of, I mean it's diabolical that we need to live like this. Australia, France, and Germany had to cancel New Year's Eve events out of fear of Islamic terrorism.
A beautiful and spectacular event, and it has all been canceled because the French government can no longer keep its own people safe from potential radical Islamic terrorists that they have welcomed into their country.
Wow.
Think about that.
Think about that. Think about that. Their open border policy is so good, and the people are assimilating so well, and multiculturalism is such a great strength that they literally have to cancel New Year's celebrations in multiple major countries due to Islamophobia. I'm just saying, it's pretty Islamophobic for them to do this. All right, my incredibly hot take is either you call out the fact that importing infinite Muslims is a pretty retarded idea, or you suck it up and let them kill you. That's my take. If you're canceling out of fear, then you're more Islamophobic than I am, all right? I'm just saying.
France has let in so many Middle East and North African migrants.
And to be clear, this isn't everyone, and I always need to make this disclaimer because, you know, some people definitely crash out a lot, and this isn't every Muslim, and I feel bad for, you know, Muslims that are actually doing their absolute best to integrate into societies. You know, that's the truth. But let's say it's 10% of Muslims that are coming in from the third world. That's a fuck ton of people. All right, I want to make that clear. All right, the non-violent Muslims that are coming in are going to continue voting for infinite Muslim importation. And if only 10% of them are violent, that's still hundreds of thousands of people in these countries. All right, you have to understand my perspective here.
That they can no longer assemble in crowds.
That's right. Welcome to Europe, where if you're white, you cannot assemble in crowds. Because if you do, they might kill you. Does that sound like multiculturalism being our greatest strength?
We're watching one of the most beautiful countries and cultures in the world commit suicide, and this threat has now spread all over the West. This is not singular to Australia or France. It is everywhere now, including in Germany, where many are too scared to go to the country's many famous Christmas markets because they are now so dangerous. They're such a target for radical Islamists. Take a listen to the details from this report.
Terrorists have struck 7 European Christmas markets since 2014.
7.
3 in France and 4 in Germany. All carried out by men of Muslim or Middle Eastern backgrounds. Authorities arrested 5 men suspected of planning attack number 8 in Germany.
Hold up. All of them were from Muslim backgrounds? I'm sorry. I'm not seeing a pattern.
Last week. One of them, a Muslim cleric.
I refuse. I'm not seeing a pattern, guys. It could be anyone. All right? The last 8 were done by Muslims, but the 9th could be done by a straight white man. Okay? All right? Shut up, chat.
German mosque who urged his followers to kill as many people as possible.
Damn. Imams in mosques telling them to kill people? I can't believe the Jews would do this. I can't believe it's far-right Christians all over again.
Yeah, attack number 8 foiled.
Yeah, 1 or 2 times, that's a pattern. 36,000 times, that's probably a coincidence.
There was another attack in Poland on a Christmas market, foiled as well. The one in Germany, a Muslim cleric that left Egypt to move to Germany, moving to a country which tolerantly allows him to work at a mosque, to have a mosque. And what does he do when he gets to Germany and he's saved by the West? He begins indoctrinating other Muslims to murder as many Christians as they possibly.
Nux, you're causing Islamophobia? Dog. Muslims are causing Islamophobia, you know, by bombing people, all right? Nothing causes more Islamophobia than a Muslim guy murdering people, all right? Maybe call those guys out first, all right? Then, after you call all those guys out, come back here.
Possibly can. Going to a German Christmas market at this point is a bit like playing Russian roulette. Is today the day that one of our asylum seekers living off our tax dollars is going to plow his car through this market and kill 20 of us?
Wow.
We don't know.
We don't know.
In Australia, where 16 were murdered on a beach this past Sunday, many say that they have felt the threat skyrocket as their own government imported tens of thousands of migrants from Muslim countries.
But what do you mean? People are just people. No cultures are inferior. That's what my leftoid lobotomite friend told me.
The Muslim population doubling in a decade.
That's Islamophobic to even notice that, sir.
Australia.
That's Islamophobic.
The left-wing Prime Minister of Australia, the Labour Party, a country that has the strictest gun laws in the world already, just wants to add more gun laws.
Yeah, so that's the Australia thing, which we've already covered in the past. But so this is the good news, all right? People closing down markets so that there aren't terror attacks, that's the good news. You know, terror attacks thwarted, that's the good news. We got to talk about the actual violence. All right, and I'm sorry, I didn't want to be a bearer of bad news on my first video of the new year, but someone has to, because literally no one is talking about this in the media. Everyone's talking about like big stories, but I feel like these are big stories. So these are emergency vehicles set on fire and police officers getting attacked with Molotov cocktails in Brussels. All right, in Belgium, in Brussels. So there's a dude, a youth, a migrant, but a youth, literally throwing Molotov cocktails at police officers. Holy shit. Yeah. This was literally last night. Yeah, dudes running with Molotov cocktails. Cars are backing up, and they're just throwing fire at them. Bro, what the shit, man? Why are we don't need to live like this. We don't need to live like this, dude. Oh my God, and the police are so cucked, they do nothing. All right, so that was Brussels. All right, are you paying attention? This is Berlin. All right, I showed you Brussels, Belgium, but what do you think happened in Berlin, Germany? All right, get a load of this. This is straight up insanity. And definitely please support me on Patreon, because there's no way this video is getting monetized. That's a big explosion, dude. This is last night. This is literally last night in Berlin, Germany. All right, this is crazy. I think I have another clip from Germany also that I pulled up, which is even crazier. So this took place also. This is also Germany, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this is also in Germany. Get a load of this, man. Oh, it's the same clip. Holy fuck! Holy fuck, man. That's crazy. Guess what happened? Guess what happened? Guess how many people got arrested for this? All right, thanks for the 5 subs, Nux Tacos. Guess who did it? It's the fireworks fault. True! Don't ban the immigrants. Ban the fireworks. True, the fireworks did it. Right, just like how good people don't kill, guns kill, right? So anyway, 400 people were arrested. 400 arrests were made in Berlin, Germany last night amid firework attacks, injuring dozens of police officers and firefighters. All right, and it was, of course, done by migrant groups influenced by Islamic extremism. And that's the crazy shit that we're living. That's what we're dealing with. Yep, that's right. Unironically, this is crazy. They arrested 400 people, which they will probably release into the public very soon because they'll find them as just being mentally ill. So therefore, we can put them out. So anyway, this is Brussels. They did a play, all right, recreating the October 7th massacre in Israel. Yeah, what the fuck? That's crazy. That's insane. I'm really happy we're importing these guys into our countries. Now, let me just remind you, not only was this attack an absolute atrocity, but also it's what caused all these Palestinians to die. I thought you didn't want Palestinians dying, but now you're celebrating the attack that started the war that killed all these Palestinians. It's pretty weird. And, you know, they do their whole shtick, their whole garbage. And this is breaking news, all right? This was just now. Let's go, guys. Let's go, dude. Anyway, you thought that was bad? Welcome to Strasbourg, France, all right? So this is in Strasbourg. I don't know how to pronounce the name. In France, but this was also throughout France. In fact, I'll just show you the footage first, all right? You got fireworks in the middle of the streets. You got fireworks on the ground, all right? You got police everywhere. It doesn't stop. It's getting scary. Nearly 1,000 cars were burned in France by arson attacks, leading to hundreds of arrests, which is also linked to Islamic jihadist and migrant perpetrators. In these people that got arrested were largely migrants. Almost 1,000 cars burnt throughout France. Migrants burn out cars in Strasbourg. This is the same Strasbourg, just cars on fire. This is straight arson, man. Mostly peaceful New Year's celebration, ladies and gentlemen. You have some bewildered French people freaking out in the background. I don't understand. We are so nice to all these people. We brought them into our country. Why did they do this? I don't get it. They said there was a religion of peace. They were like, hello, sir, I am religion of peace. May I please come into your country? And we will like, yes, of course. And then my car is on fire. I can figure out why. I cannot decide why this would happen. So anyway, this happened in Strasbourg, area, cars on fire, almost 1,000 cars. Yeah, take deep breaths, guys, deep breaths. It's not like it gets worse. Shocker, it gets worse. This is still Strasbourg, France. Yep, all right, I got more footage of it because there's over 1,000 cars, almost 1,000 cars. Welcome to Amsterdam. All right, this was Amsterdam. You have to understand, man, this happened last night. This is everything I'm showing you today happened last night. Do we understand that there might be an issue? All right, look at this, man. Once again, this is by migrants. This is by migrants of the Islamic persuasion firing fireworks at police officers. Dude, like, actually, what the fuck? I'm getting more Islamophobic as this video keeps going. Like, because literally, why are you doing this, man? Literally, why are you doing this? Absolute insanity. I'm really glad we're importing way more of these guys into New York. So this was London, because I'm covering all our bases. This was London. Police, British police arrest people as they tried to disrupt the New Year's Eve celebrations in London. Yeah, and obviously with the Palestine flag and everything. A little more Islamophobia. And the police, they're terrified because they know that they're the ones that are going to get in trouble if they arrest these people. Because they imported enough of them that they are the controlling voting bloc. They control the politicians, they control the votes, and the government is still blaming random people on the far right. It's far right violence. I just showed a video recently about how in England they arrested a 12-year-old Jewish boy for saying he wanted to wipe out Hamas, a terrorist organization. And they questioned him. Counterterrorism questioned him. But yeah, no, this totally isn't an invasion in Europe or anything like that. Totally not. Totally not. Obviously, that would be crazy. And in a final act of tragedy over here, I saved this for the end because this is truly a nightmare. This is the church. What's the name of the church? Iconic European church and burnt down in Amsterdam. The Vondelkerk Church. All right, a several 100-year-old church. It's gone. Now the police released that it was arson done by youths, but they didn't say who the youths were. So I'm not coming to claim that the youths were of any particular persuasion. I am not going to say who it was that did it. There are videos of Islamists laughing. Oh, no, they celebrate. Okay, no, that I can say. Well, we don't know who burnt down the church. That was youths of unnamed ethnic background that did this arson. However, unironically, there were celebrations among the Islamic communities that this church was burnt down. Not going to say the persuasion of the doctor. It was a Jewish doctor. That's crazy. That's just crazy. Imagine letting this happen. Like, how do the politicians sleep at night? That's horrific. Yeah, that's absolutely horrific. Just as if you wanted to see a before and after, this was the Vondel Church in Amsterdam yesterday. Beautiful building, honestly. This was the Vondel Church in Amsterdam yesterday, and this is the church today. Truly sad stuff, honestly. It's just really sad, you know? That's horrible. And the European countries are so absolutely cucked that they just refuse. That not only do they refuse to do anything about it, they refuse to acknowledge that there's a problem. Like, literally, they don't even acknowledge that there's an issue. Now, I'm gonna wrap up this video with probably one of the most based speeches I've ever heard to come from a certain politician that a lot of people don't like, to be honest. And I have my issues with the guy, but he was cooking yesterday, so credit where credit is due. All right. Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel, is currently in the United States of America, and he celebrated New Year's at Mar-a-Lago. All right? And he said something a little bit insane. All right? This is one of those Jew moments. All right? It happens. All right? It happens. Sometimes, often it doesn't happen, but this time it absolutely happened. I'm not gonna lie. He actually cooked here, like, to an insane degree.
You are representatives of the Christian Zionists who made Jewish Zionism possible. It's hard for me to conceive the emergence of the Jewish state, the re-emergence of the Jewish state, without the support of Christian Zionists in the United States, also in Britain, but the main thrust was in the United States in the 19th century. So Christian Zionism facilitated the rise and success of Jewish Zionism. And it's been an enormous partnership since then. I've known some of you. Mike, how long have we known? Since we were teenagers, something like that? A long time.
46 years.
46 years, since we were a little more than teenagers.
Bro's old.
But I can say that...
This is AI? No, this isn't AI. This was an actual speech he gave yesterday.
I have no better friends, and I mean that sincerely. You have stood by us through thick and thin, and now we're challenged by new challenges, but equally with new opportunities. We've fought, as you know, a seven-front war, and we've come out in many ways victorious, but there's an eighth front, and that's the front for the hearts and minds of people, especially young people in the West, and for me, especially in the United States, and for me, especially on the conservative wing of the United States. And I think it's not just...
Yeah, so my hot take is Netanyahu really shouldn't be sitting here talking about propaganda in the United States. That's really not your point. That's really not your point. And this is definitely a response to that, in my opinion. Absolutely. But the conclusion is good.
Israel...
Please don't mention the Holocaust, though, because every time BB shows up, he's like, we remember the Holocaust. And it's like, no, don't mention it. We remember it, okay? You don't need to bring it up every time.
Battle. I think it's our common Judeo-Christian civilizational battle. And I think we have to engage in that battle as forcefully, with as much resolution as we engage the other 7 fronts. I think it affects not only Israel, it affects America, it affects our alliance, it affects the future of Western civilization. And I don't think I'm exaggerating one bit. I have here my colleagues, Israel's ambassador to the United States, to the United Nations, our consul general in New York, our consul general in Miami, and every one of my delegation. We feel that this is a theater that has to be engaged with great force. Who's to engage in us? In this? It's us. It's you and us. And we have to, we have to be, I think we have to stand up and be counted. They have to hear our voice. There are some people who believe that, that faith should be silent and terrorism should be understood. No, faith should speak its voice and terrorism should be confronted, not understood, confronted and defeated. And that is what we're engaged in right now.
Okay.
I want you to know that I spoke with President Trump yesterday. I said this publicly too. I see the battle against us and the battle against our Judeo-Christian tradition basically being waged around the globe. And it's waged primarily by 2 forces, radical Shiite Islam and radical Sunni Islam.
2 forces are attacking us. Muslims and Muslims. Oh shit, that's getting scary.
That means the axis that is led by Iran, much battered, admittedly, but still there, and the Sunni axis led by the Muslim Brotherhood, which permeates everything. They go to Europe, they go to the United States, they go to Africa, Nigeria. And we are conscious of the fact that Christians are being persecuted across the Middle East, in Syria, in Lebanon, in Nigeria, in Turkey, and beyond. And we're also aware of the fact, as you are, that
white Karens and Muslims are the 2 forces. No. It's radical Muslims are the force. The white Karens are the ones that literally just vote to open the doors to the Muslims. You have to understand.
One country protects the Christian community, enables it to grow, defends it, and makes sure that it thrives. And that country is Israel. There is no other. None. We are...
In the Middle East, that's true. For those of you that don't pay attention, in the Middle East, every single country in the Middle East Christian population decreased drastically over the last 50 years, for example, by like 80% in many countries. Like, in Libya, in Lebanon, in Egypt, in Syria, and Iran, there used to be Christian majorities, and now there aren't, which is pretty crazy.
Joining an effort to have basically a United Nations of countries that support Christian communities around the world.
Oh, damn.
Beleaguered communities who deserve our help. Just as you are helping us, we want to help back. And we're capable of doing that. In Africa with Intel, in the Middle East with a lot of means that I won't itemize each one. But this is what our agenda is. It's a main part of our agenda, and it's going to continue with greater force and greater might in this coming year. I want to use this opportunity to wish you all, well, it's kind of late for a Merry Christmas, but a belated Happy Christmas, and not a belated, and on time, a Happy New Year. May it be a year of prosperity, peace, and security for all of us, but especially for the Christian communities around the world. So thank you, and Happy New Year to all of you.
So that was a little bit diabolical. Bro straight up went out there and made breaking news that they are going to be devoting significant intelligence and technological resources to combat Islamist persecution of Christians around the world. That's definitely something I did not see coming. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie. I did not see that coming. This was probably the biggest shock to me because again, you don't see Netanyahu talking about that so much. But I do think ever since the wars that happened in Israel over the last couple of years, Israel, I think, really felt very much like there is this major worldwide issue. I mean, to be honest, history's most unexpected champion for Christianity, I guess. But anywho, or he's just being, or he's just trying to do his best and get some Christian supporters or whatever. Maybe he's being pragmatic about it. I'm fully open to both possibilities. But the result would be the same. And no one expected the Jew-Christian team-up crusades of the 21st century, but it kind of looks like we're we're moving in that direction. It's a little bit terrifying. So anyway, gentlemen, peoples, Happy New Year. Hope you enjoyed. Hope everything was good. Hope you weren't in England, because then you might have been killed. Hope you weren't in Amsterdam. Hope you weren't in France. Hope you weren't in Brussels, Belgium. Hope you weren't in Berlin, Germany. Hope you weren't in any of those places. I hope you weren't in Sydney, Australia. A lot of you might not be aware of this. There was also events that descended into chaos with fireworks fired into crowds, also done by Islamic groups. Hope you were in the United States, you know, or in Israel, where there were actually no Islamic terrorist attacks because they were thwarted. So anyway, that's the crazy twist. The crazy twist, start off the new year. This is the year of the crusade, the year of the great crusade. I'll see you in the next one. This is just me getting my $7,000 check for propaganda. I'll see you in the next one. And once again, I can't believe all these Jews are tricking Muslims into killing Christians, and then also the Jews are stopping the Muslims from killing Christians. It's truly diabolical. The Jewish mind is something that could never possibly be comprehended. See you in the next one. Bye. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.